Catch that dial.
Garrett J. White, the authentic entrepreneur, coming at you real, raw, and loud. This, my friends, is the Business Breakthrough. Today, we're going to be talking about systems and sequences. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really know anything about systems and sequences when it came to business. I kind of fell into the whole game. My first business I ever got involved in was banking. And in banking, well, there's a lot of systems, but I just didn't really know a whole lot of them. I remember sitting across from my boss. This would describe the mortgage industry for you. He was 18 years old. He was making $25,000 to $30,000 a month. He wouldn't look me in the eyes. And when I asked him questions about, how do we do this? How do we do this? This is what he'd say. That was my introduction to systems. Then I started my own business, right? And I launched my first mortgage company. I didn't know anything about systems either. Here was exactly how my entire thought process worked when it came to making money. It was send out a bunch of people marketing, bring in a bunch of money, and then figure out the rest. Put out a bunch of marketing, bring in the money, and figure out the rest. Now, this created a lot of problems for me, you can imagine. A few years ago, I met a guy by the name of Brett Harward, who wrote a book called The 5 Laws That Determine All Life's Outcomes. Awesome book. And Brett was one of my business coaches. He came in and coached me and Garrett B. Gunderson, New York Times bestselling author of Killing Sacred Cows, and we were business partners in a company called Freedom Fast Track. Brett came in, he started talking to us, and he said, listen, Garrett, I want you to set some projections about your goals for life. And I said, okay, well, I'd like to make XYZ dollars per month from our business take home. He said, oh, that's fantastic. So he put some calculations up on the board. He went, and when he came back from that conversation, he said, cool, Garrett, so guess what? You only have to work 375 hours a week. Now, quickly, because I'm not a math major, right? Because I graduated with a degree in kickball, right? That's right, football player and kickball degree. You go figure. So I'm sitting in the space and I started doing the math and I'm like, wait a second, that's more hours than there are in the week. And he said, yes, absolutely. No sleep and you'd actually pull that off. I had no systems. And one of the systems I didn't have was a system to measure the numbers. I was a guy that managed everything by emotion. It was like, could we afford this? Well, it was our money in the bank account. If there was money in the bank account, I would spend it. Now, I didn't think about the checks that had already been written and et cetera. And you can imagine the problems that created. I had no system and I had no sequence, but I didn't even know where to begin to think about systems and sequence. So when it comes to your business, what are you looking at? What are the systems that you're currently running? Here's the 4 systems that I was taught from Brett Harward and many of my business coaches that really supported where I was going. But I saw these as one big I didn't really see them any other way than Now I do that because that's about how I saw it. Again, it was kind of like the underpants gnomes from South Park. Got a product, go steal the underpants, make profit. Nothing in the middle. I had no idea what to do. And then I found that there were 4 distinct areas that I needed to create systems in. And underneath those were segmented systems and they had to be sequenced in a particular order. That first system was our marketing system. We had to have a sequence in which we did A plus B equals C. Then I had to have a sales system in which it was A plus B equals C. And then I had to have a fulfillment system, which was A plus B equals C. And then I had to have a management system that managed all of this chaos that went A plus B equals C. I love that. You like how we're doing that little A, B, anyways. So in that space, then when you look at your business, how many systems do you have? Or are you the underpants gnomes? Break it down to 4 distinct systems. Number 1, your marketing system. Number 2, what was number 2 again? Oh yeah, that's right, your sales systems. Number 3, your fulfillment systems. And number 4, your management systems. Now here's the big doozy of all this. Do you realize that all these systems get run by different people? What I mean by that is people who are marketers are different minded than people who are in sales, and people who are in sales are different minded than those in fulfillment, and those in fulfillment are very different than those in the sequential model of managing all that crap. I mean, I sit around with people all the time who would be fantastic CEOs, but are horrible marketers. Why? Because they can't think outside the box. They can only see things through perfect systems. So one of the things we're gonna be talking about over the next couple of weeks is how different energy scripts work out for different positions, and how if you're currently the person that's managing your marketing system, your sales system, as well as your fulfillment system, as well as your management system, then maybe you gotta look at bringing some other people in. And I'm not talking about a full-time employee, I'm talking about outsourcing. Outsourcing some possibilities of having other people fulfill on these different systems. But overall, guess who gets to build this system? You do. You get to build the system. So I want you this week to start chiming in down below with what systems you currently have or don't have. And what are you taking from this conversation of systems? What does your marketing, sales, fulfillment, and your management system look like? My name is Garrett J. White, and this has been The Business Breakthrough.